WNDRSoul.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming?
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock. The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Wonder Talk. I'm joined here with my wife, my partner in crime, Bailey.
Hey,
What's up?
chilling. Kid free time for once.
Yeah, chilling. We've been trying to record this numerous times. So hopefully this one's a go. You know, if you're hearing it, obviously it worked out.
I have faith in us this time.
You have faith in us.
I do.
But do I have faith in you?
All right, easy there. Do you remember?
Do you want to start just laughing up a storm?
No promises.
No
there.
promises. See, now I see that you're trying to just keep it all together. Trying to be very serious and professional. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so welcome everyone to this episode. We went and saw Fantastic Four First Steps this weekend, and we decided we wanted to just sit back and talk about it together and with you guys. So if you have any thoughts on this movie, let us know after you listen to this episode. If you haven't seen the movie, we are going to be talking spoilers.
Yeah, it's going to be spoiler heavy.
So you might as well just like pause and just like come back, right?
Very true.
That sound good?
Yeah, because I'm not going to filter my thoughts.
You're not gonna filter, yeah.
No.
It's gonna be hard. It's always hard to like filter and spoiler free stuff. I've never been a fan of that. That's why I avoid a lot of like reviews and stuff. You know, so.
Until I've made my own opinion.
Exactly, which I think we did.
Yeah.
Right.
We do pretty good about that.
We did. We do pretty good. We usually, if we really want to see a movie, we see it either on opening day or right around that first weekend, so that we don't get spoiled, you know, and all that. So, anyways, I don't know if we've ever talked about a Marvel movie on the podcast before.
That's because I don't really like Marvel movies.
You don't really like Marvel movies. You don't really like superhero movies.
No, not usually.
You're not a big fan of comic book movies.
I feel like you've changed that in a lot of ways because previously, like, it was a hard pass.
Yeah. Well,
But I've seen
some
quite
good
a
ones.
lot now.
Yeah, you do see quite a lot with me.
I do.
Yeah. But I mean, there's been a lot of good ones that we have ended up seeing.
Oh, for sure. Superman was phenomenal.
Superman
and
was
I
great.
really don't like Superman at all,
There you go.
typically.
The Batman.
I mean, he's broody and like emo and
Right.
Robert
That's right up your
Pattinson,
alley.
so it's like, why not? You know?
Yeah, that's
Kind
right
of
up
was
your
here
alley.
for it.
Yeah. What else have we seen? I think we saw Deadpool and Wolverine last year. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean,
I just-
I'm a Wolverine fan. So
I love Wolverine.
yeah, Hugh Jackman, man.
Yeah. Those movies, I don't really get the urge to rewatch, though. Like, once I've seen them, I've
No,
kinda seen
and
them.
that's what I'm saying is I think they're an
Yeah.
experience, but then I'm usually like, I'm good. I
Yeah.
don't need to own this.
Right. We don't really collect. I have a handful of Marvel films, probably from like the Infinity War era of Marvel. I don't really.
I think I have the first Iron Man, and that's it.
Well, there you go. That's a lot of people's favorites.
I mean, Iron Man was like one of my favorite
Yeah.
Marvel characters, but
One of your favorite Marvel characters?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because he made himself a superhero. He was not like...
Kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I like the tech aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, why don't we start off the episode with a couple things. I wanted to give everyone kind of like an idea of what our palette looks like as far as like what we've liked from the MCU. Like, I know they're not your favorite movies of all time, but out of the ones you've seen, what MCU movies have you enjoyed? You don't have to do a top 3, top 5. Just kind of rattle out a couple.
So, really enjoyed Black Panther.
Okay, cool.
For me, I like the idea of like tech being an aspect in superhero movies. That's why Iron Man's probably in there too. I also really liked how they did Pepper Potts, even though I really dislike the person who played her. Probably like Civil War or... That's tough because, like, I don't really... They're very visually overstimulating in a lot of ways for me. I don't like the scores for them. I'm kind of a score snob. I've come to realize that, like, not everything can be, like, Howard Shore, Lord of the Rings level of scored. But I don't know. I do like James Gunn superhero movies. I've come to find that out. Like, but he also did Creature Commandos, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I love that. So that could be it. It's probably it for Marvel though,
Yeah.
for real.
Well, I know we're big fans of animation. So yeah, like Creature Commandos was pretty dope. And I think we both, in a lot of ways, lean towards DC more.
Well, I like Broody and Moody.
Yeah. So you like,
Yeah.
Um,
Even though I really detest Wonder Woman too.
Golly.
I do. I just don't.
You're a hater.
I like the concept of Wonder Woman, like the Xena Amazonian, like warrior princess vibe, but like it's never done well enough to catch my attention.
I get that. I totally get that. Well, that's fair, and I think that's why I wanted to ask you that, because I feel like it's important before we give our opinion on this movie, Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yeah, I've read a lot of Marvel. Though.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why I was excited, because Franklin is in a lot. I mean, he's like an Omega level, so he's in a lot of things I've come across. So it was really cool for that to be
Franklin Richards, right?
Yeah. It was really cool for that to be like a plot element in this.
Yeah. And that's not even spoilers for real. Like, even if you have just decided to listen to this, like it's about basically Susan Storm having a baby. But we'll get to that. I will say, for me, when it comes to Marvel, I really enjoyed a lot of the earlier MCU films. I have not really been as invested with the MCU since Infinity War. There's been a couple things. Some of the Spider-Man projects, like No Way Home, was cool. But that's nostalgia bait in a lot of ways. That's one of those event/experiences that we just talked about, where you feel like once you saw it, cool, it happened, that was fun. But for me, like, the Winter Soldier is one of my favorite. Captain America, Winter Soldier. I love all those Captain America, like Civil War, Winter Soldier. Man, I had them all in my head a moment ago. Thor Ragnarok. I love
Thor Ragnarok wasn't bad.
That was dope.
I found that entertaining. It captivated me a little.
Yeah, a little sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little buddy cop kind of adventure.
That's exactly what I thought was buddy cop.
I like the Guardians movies. I like we just said, like, I agree with you. I like James Gunn. I obviously love Superman, and I'm excited for what the DCU is going to be. But
it stands a chance to outshine Marvel.
I think so. Like, I think it's not about who does it first. It's about who does it better. And maybe DC has learned from their own mistakes, but have also found that, there's a way to do these superhero movies in a new, fresh way. But,
which I think this did. I think this did an excellent job of telling a superhero story in a different way. Like, I'm 100% here for this trend of let's start the story in the middle of the superhero. I think that's, like, we've all seen the beginning of stuff. Like, we don't need origins. An entire movie as an origin for the Fantastic Four. We've had, 3 other variants?
Yeah, we had two. There was like the one with Chris Evans as Human Torch.
Doesn't count because he became Captain America.
I know. But like the 20th Century Fox stuff, yeah. Where you had that one, you had the Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then you had the Fan Force Stick is what they like to call it with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, but see, Michael B. Jordan was the only good part of that.
Dude, that whole thing is trash. I'm sorry. That whole thing is garbage.
I bet it would be a good drinking game, though.
They said today I read an article that said that Fantastic Four First Steps made already more money than Fan Four Stick made in its entire run.
Damn.
But
this was cast extremely well.
Sure.
Like the chemistry of the actors in this sold the emotional connection.
Yeah, big time.
And I think that's good because I don't remember thinking that, what did you call the Fantastic Four Stick?
It's called Fan Four Stick because like in the title, like the number 4 is in the middle of Fantastic, so everybody was calling it Fan Four Stick. Yeah,
I see. Yes, so that one was not cast well. Like there was like no chemistry among any of those people to me.
Yeah.
Did not believe it.
I don't even remember a lot of it.
But I like Invisible Woman. Like she's cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes, like, you know, when you look back at that original cast for the 20th Century Fox ones, like, before, I know Chris Evans is Captain America, and he did a lot better with that role than, you know, anything before that.
He was groomed for it.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, you know, I think just, like you said, like, it's about chemistry, it's about having an idea, having a certain aesthetic, because I know that we both, when it came to this movie, really enjoyed like the retro futuristic like vibes.
Oh, big time. I think like as a fan of like Fallout and BioShock and
Alien.
Like, oh god, I love
we
Alien.
love the Alien
Alien's
tech.
definitely one of my favorite movies.
Big time.
But like that tech vibe is just, I was fiending for it, and it was so good. Like the style of the car, even though it flies, it's like still very
Retro
like
futurism.
yeah. Just loved it. The coloring was great. I liked the uniforms, which is sometimes like a distractor for me. Is like a bad uniform. You're just like, I can't buy it.
Right. I loved Superman's new costume. You know.
Yeah.
And I think there are like in general a lot of these movies, these comic book movies, are leaning really heavy into the comic book inspiration of those like costumes and characters.
Yeah, so one of the things I thought was cool is that, like, Ben grew a beard.
Yeah, that was interesting, yeah.
Like, I really liked the character design for him, how they kind of, like, layered the textures and sounds even. I know we were talking or watching something about...
We were.
Like, his fingers touching his mouth makes, like, a rock clattering noise. Like, it's these really small touches that really make the character, like, come to life.
Yeah.
As a viewer, and I think all of the actors in this did really well. And I originally... didn't agree with Pedro Pascal, whatever, Papa Pedro, but he did so well. He played the neurotic side of it very well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think after some, you know, thought, my opinion's not really on Pedro, but what they wanted to do with Reed Richards in this movie, kind of left me. Looking at that whole cast, right? I think everyone else got a lot of cool moments. Were very likable, but Reed, I think just because of the story, is kind of introduced into this like, oh, I'm about to have a kid, and I'm like very nervous about that because, you know, cosmic rays and all this stuff, and he just seems like he's very reserved, very nervous, and you don't really see him show off his stretching abilities. I think it's public knowledge that Reed Richards is probably one of the smartest characters in Marvel. And you get to see that. Like that whole world, which this is not just, it's not a time story. This is like on a different universe, a different Earth. But in that world, Reed Richards' technology is like all over the place.
Well, and there's a lot of, like, in the comics of, like, Reed Richards' technology and Stark's technology working together to, like, make some pretty intense things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I like that they focus really more brain than brawn, or I don't know if he's ever really brawn. He's just kind of stretchy.
Yeah.
But I think this one did a better job showing that everybody else also has powers, right? Like, he is not the only one that the cosmic rays hits and he like, oh wow, I have this thing now. Like, his wife is incredibly powerful. Like,
Yeah, for
his
sure.
best friend is like insanely strong, and then obviously Human Torch over there. But
Yeah.
you know, one thing I think this did well that ones in the past haven't is it showed that these people aren't stupid. They didn't just like go into space with Reed Richards to like go into space.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't one of those like, oh, let me leave the atmosphere and be done kind of trips.
Yeah.
Like, these were intelligent people that were going up for their own scientific purposes or military backgrounds and things like that. So I liked that, like, Johnny is smart. Like, there are moments that you see him really like solve a problem he doesn't need Reed, right?
Yeah.
In those moments. And the same with his wife. Like, there are moments where she's just like, I've got to handle this thing, and she handles it. And I can see how people aren't going to like that on some level, but I think that made it a better movie for me, at
Okay.
least, like, as a viewer.
No, so like I totally agree. Like, I like the changes that they did make because yeah, like Johnny Storm is usually just like a ladies' man. You know, he's just out there.
Quippy.
He's just looking for the girls, man. And where like they touch on that, I mean, even his thing with the Silver Surfer in this movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
they even joke about that. Like, oh, I get it, you know,
The
space
naked
lady.
alien
Yeah.
comes down and he's interested.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I do like that they gave him something to do.
Yeah, he just wasn't in the background. And I feel like in a lot of them, when he's not in flame mode, he is just...
Yeah. You
In
know,
the
I will say
background.
about his flame mode, right? I kind of didn't like how they did his flames. Like, I kind of wish they had, like, the comic book lined. You don't really see his face. It's, like, eyes and a mouth. Like, it's like he is a flame body.
Yeah, I
Not
could
that
see
his
that.
body is on fire.
Well, and this was more like translucent.
You saw him all
yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were some cool scenes where, like, when the power went out and he turns on his flames, that was kind of cool.
Oh, I enjoyed that. Yeah, then when he's like looking at the maps and he
Yeah,
just
it's
needs
holding his
a
hand.
very
Yeah.
like minimal amount of light. It's his
Cool
hand.
stuff like that. Well, I mean, it's like those moments where you go, oh, we spent all this money to have this actor. We need to show this actor's face.
I do think that's what that was, because Joseph Quinn is like objectively a well liked for being attractive actor.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little bit of fan service in the design choice as well.
And here's the thing about some of the changes they did make. Whenever you're doing something that's already been done, and not just been done, it's been done a couple of times.
And not well each time.
True.
So like there is like here's another one, and people doubt
Yeah.
you.
And that's kind of where I think it gets forced into some, like, things that I wish that they didn't have to. Like, I would have liked this story as a sequel. Like, I would have loved to see the Fantastic Four, not really an origin, but just like a Fantastic Four movie. And then at the end, oh my gosh, Sue is pregnant. And now it's like, oh, what are we going to do? How's that going to be?
But see, I think that's poor planning on the MCU's part. Like, they got so distracted in other areas that they weren't dropping those Easter eggs, because it could have definitely been featured
Well,
in several moments and situations. And, with this being their first, like, quote unquote film in the
Yeah.
Marvel franchise, like, but that goes back to those like mid and post credit scenes that like didn't go anywhere.
Right,
One of
true.
the ones that didn't go anywhere could have been this.
well, and we all know that the whole thing was they wanted to do King the Conqueror. And then
Yeah.
they've kind of scratched that. And now they're like doing Doom, which is cool. And Doom is a Fantastic Four, villain. As much as he is like also just like a big bad in Marvel.
But you don't think that's a bid just to keep Robert Downey Jr. around because it's a masked villain and they just needed a masked villain?
And here's the thing.
Because I do.
Because this movie, after seeing it, you can it starts to make more sense of what they want to do. So obviously at the end, you get this like mid-credit scene and you see Doom. And from what I've read, like that is Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. This is not
Yes, no.
so that is
everything
Doom.
that I've seen says it is.
So two things are either happening there. Either there is a Doom from that universe, from on that Earth, or that is Doom who's coming to that universe to get Franklin.
See, that's what I assumed it was.
See, and I think it's the other way around.
I assumed it had, because like the way he just like kind of appears, I figured it was like he had come from another universe or dimension or however you want to call it, and he was coming for Franklin.
Well, here's the thing. If you are, so you cast Robert Downey Jr., so
Yeah.
wouldn't it make sense that he would be from that Earth where he's kind of a variant, so that when he runs into the heroes from the MCU that we know, if they do go in the direction where they don't really mess up his face, because Doom's face usually in the comics is like
I
messed up.
genuinely thought they would leave mask on full time. Like, I don't think it would. I thought the smartest way to do it would be to not reveal that it's Robert Downey Jr. Like, obviously, voice is going to reveal that, acting style, cadence, stuff like that. But I think the smartest thing that Marvel could do would be not show his face.
But here's the thing. In that mid-credit scene, he literally has his mask off. He's showing it to a kid.
But I think that's them showing us who he is, because he's holding the mask
Right.
for us to see it.
But if you are a child and you're looking at a disfigured face, wouldn't you be more scared than like... Because in that scene,
I don't know.
Franklin's
That's
like,
also
oh.
assuming that Franklin Richards is like a normal kid, and
Well,
we all
that's
know
true.
he's like
He's not.
really not.
It's like reading the
Plus,
origin
like
of species.
Ben is like the person that helps raise him, and his face is disfigured.
Yeah, but he's a
So
rock
he-
guy. The
right,
thing's
but
not
like
scary.
But
he's not Freddy Krueger.
wrong face is wrong face to children. Like, they don't know things are scary until they've been told things are scary.
Okay. Well, and that's, I think that's also why we get what we get from this movie too, is like they are going in this direction of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And you really can't do Doom without having the Fantastic Four exist. And so we make the Fantastic Four.
So that we can make Dune.
So that we can make that make sense. The
I mean,
problem
yeah.
is, like, as much as I enjoyed this movie, and we're kind of going all over the place, and I actually prefer that. So,
Well,
sorry.
this is a genuine conversation.
Yeah, we're just kind of going where our train of thought takes us.
We don't need an AI script.
Yeah, exactly. I watched that movie and I was like, man, I would have loved for them to just reboot the whole thing. Like, I would have loved if Marvel was starting over, the MCU was starting over, you had the first family be the first movie. And you almost did the heroes in that retro style and work it up to modern times or something. Like, that would be really fun. And maybe they do that because there's talks that after Doomsday and Secret Wars, they are rebooting. And maybe that's why you're getting the old X-Men cast. You're getting all these other things that already exist. And they're going to just go, at the end of this, we are starting over.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility, because obviously, like, but see, it's also disappointing because now they're bringing mutants into the MCU, and like they previously didn't really do that, which was always unfortunate as a person who, like, that was what the MCU's entry point for me was. But I can see, because some of those actors are getting older and are not going to be able to do the things that they could previously do. But they've obviously shown retrofuturistic works, because they do it with WandaVision. And then they do it with this, and it works very well. And I think the problem is that DC does realism well and Marvel does fantasy well, right? Like, and like this retrofuturistic vibe suits that so well. Like, the way it looks, the way that it sounds, the like merch that you can produce because of it, all of these things like make you stand out. Because I do think it was very like ballsy to release following Superman release, because they are apples to oranges. Like, it's not like we're comparing, you know, the same thing at this point, because Superman was hyper realism, right? Like, it's in its own, you know, metropolis. It's not in the United States, whatever. But it, like, she's like taking selfies and like doing TikToks with Superman fighting in the background, and like they integrate technology, whereas this makes more sense because they're focusing so heavy on interdimensional, right?
Yeah.
That there's all these dimensions. Well, they're not going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I could see how they use this to set up to introduce whatever the other dimensions like Captain America is going to look like, or the other dimensions Iron Man, because obviously Robert Downey Jr. is getting kind of older, you know, and he can't be Iron Man forever. You know, like, am I here for Silver Fox Iron Man? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But there comes a time where if you're telling Franklin Richards' story, then you have to start telling the people that are parallel to him in the MCU, because there are other things that happen after he does.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the whole thing about the multiverse, I mean, first of all, you're never going to have Robert Downey Jr. come back full time to be Iron Man.
No,
Like,
that's over.
that would ruin that whole movie of Endgame when he sacrifices himself. Like that, like he's done. The fact that he's coming back as Doom is kind of weird to people. It's weird to me.
It is weird to me as well.
And like when you're talking about like, oh, they brought up mutants and stuff like that, and that's kind of what you have to look at the MCU as for what it is as an overarching story, is that in the real world things that have happened, whether it was Sony or 20th Century Fox and these other rights coming in, I think they're looking for an opportunity in the near future where you do these movies and you have all of your toys to work with. And then you can tell this story where it makes so much sense. Now they're trying to like interject like that there's mutants now. It's like, well, has there always been mutants? Now they're trying to interject like all these little ideas and concepts.
Well, because you introduce Wanda and you introduce Quicksilver, who are
but they don't
essentially mutants.
Well, they are like, but they
like
don't
Wanda
address
is an
them as
Omega
mutants.
level. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I think they try to make it out that the staff or whatever from Avengers is what caused them to have powers. I don't know.
but
They're
that's
not-
what I'm
they
saying,
weren't
though.
born
Like,
with
these
those
are
abilities.
characters in the MCU that are defined a certain way, and then we're like rewritten to fit this like cinematic universe.
But maybe that's what you can do is like you can make it make sense that after all of these events coming up, it's like now people are born with abilities. They're now mutants. Like now you have these different characters with like that have been recast and redesigned.
True.
And I mean, I know for a lot of people, even though so many people like Chadwick Boseman and loved him as Black Panther, and
He was great.
he was great, perfect casting. I think like people are craving that they fill that void.
Yes.
And I think when you're talking about characters like the Fantastic Four and some of these other ones that we're going to see in the future, like having a Black Panther would be great. And we'll see what happens. Like, I think that's just where it's been such a weird, messy experiment, because before the MCU, there wasn't anything like this. And that's, I think, why Superman hit so well for me. I was just really excited to see what they do. How do you learn from your mistakes? Like, how do you start fresh? But that's also why when I watch Fantastic Four First Steps, I'm like, man, first of all, this works so well because it is in its own world. It's not relying so heavy on MCU.
Mm-mm.
And it was almost unfortunate by the end of the film where I was like, oh, dude, they're going to have to make all this make connections and make sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I hate that, though. I kind of hate that. But let's like talk about the movie. Let's get back to them, because I think we went on a whole MCU.
Well, I feel like that
That
was
was
part
great.
of the
Love
movie.
it.
It was like a whole aspect of it.
It is, especially now with time to digest like the overarching story that Marvel's trying to tell.
So, do you want my what they did right? What
Yeah,
I
sure.
really vibed
Well,
with?
you want to take turns?
Sure.
You go first.
That's what I'm saying.
Sweet.
Cool. Perfect. Same.
Perfect. Great.
Yep.
Love it.
For me, obviously, the way it starts, love it. I love that we're literally getting some kind of like televised event of like Fantastic Four year later, like after this big thing that they did, and in this little TV broadcast, we get all the information we need. We get how they became superheroes, we get how they came back to Earth, we get what it was like for their first year, we get how the populace feels about them, right? 5 minutes, got everything I needed to know, great, and then we plugged right into the story. And I liked that. I liked that in Superman. I liked it in this. I feel like you didn't waste my time with filler.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is at this point. We've heard these stories. Like, this is filler.
Yeah. Just get me to the point.
Yeah, loved it. I didn't need to see the accident.
Yeah.
This was great. So that would be my big, I think they jumped right in. Great.
Yeah, I love that. The pacing, I mean, overall is pretty good. It starts off a little slow because of that. Because you have to, like, there's so much, like, kind of explaining. Not really explaining, because you're right, they don't spend a lot of time, but I don't know. there was a lot of times where I wish they would have showed these villains that they talk about and show some of these things that's not have it be so much of a montage.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
like you
I
don't
can
have
see
to
that.
show me the origin, but like give me some more of them doing stuff other than just like being a family.
Well, you get all the mole man backstory.
A little
and
bit. I would have even loved more of that. Like, I don't know. There's just moments where I would have liked to see a little bit more action to break up some of the stuff.
I will say I knew that was gonna be a big like critique for
Yeah.
a lot of people, is this wasn't super action packed. And I liked that a lot. Like I preferred that.
See.
So
yeah.
like
Okay.
but I'm not a superhero movies kind of person, which
Oh,
is I
yeah.
guess what this was made for, was a person that's like here for the story, not the let's go punch a monster.
Well, and a
Because-
lot of the problems they have to like think through them. They have to figure out them. They can't just do what the Thing and Johnny wanted to do, which was like just go punch Galactus and
They go and
shoot
negotiate,
flames.
which I think is so cool. We don't see a lot of that,
Yeah.
especially in Marvel. Marvel people do not talk to anyone. They're just like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this super punch and just like ruin this guy.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know. I like that they were like, yeah, we're gonna just try and talk to him, and then they came back and they're like, it didn't go well, guys.
Well, what else did you like? Did you like Galactus?
Galactus is hard. Like, Galactus is hard. I think the size plays a role. And, you know, I'm a big practical effects. I prefer that over CGI, which this, like, heavily needed.
Oh yeah.
So, yes, I liked Galactus for various reasons. I think it's just hard to make him cool. Like, he's cooler in ship when he's, like, eating worlds. But,
Yeah.
like, how they reveal him, like, launching out of that planet that he's devouring, that shit was wild.
That whole-
Loved that little
Look.
scene, because they're like, we're sensing him, but don't see shit. And then
Yeah.
here he comes, just barreling through.
I gotta say, and I gotta interject on this because we might as well just stay here a little bit. That whole middle sequence of them in space was so dope.
It was so cool.
Like from start to finish, like actually getting these astronauts
In space.
in space doing some sci-fi shit. You know, wormholes, light, speed, just like
Black holes.
planets blowing up and Silver Surfer like chasing them. That whole stuff, all that, I loved it. I loved it.
Loved the
I love that better
wormhole
than the
warping the
climax.
lasers.
Yeah, all
Loved
that.
it. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a sci-fi nerd thing to pick up on, and I love that. As a sci-fi nerd, I'm here for those things. Like,
Definitely my favorite part of the movie was probably that middle space sequence.
yeah, the her being in labor in space was also
That was
wild.
crazy. That was so intense.
That was up until the actual you see the baby, it was like crazy wild. Like
Yeah.
that whole scene.
Well, because here's the thing, the movie kind of gives you this like, yo, they're superpowered. They're so praised and popular and liked, and everything is safe because of them. So like, what do? Well, Silver Surfer comes down and is like, yeah, your planet's gone. Goodbye.
I herald its end.
Yeah.
Like,
And then so they have to get in a ship and they have to go somewhere where they are just like completely vulnerable.
but she's like hella pregnant, and that does
Yeah,
not matter.
I did
like,
not. I was surprised they even sent her up there. I
That's
was
what I'm
like-
saying. I'd
it's
been like, you sit your
"Jeez."
ass on the couch
Yeah,
at the
you
house.
just chill here on Earth.
You be here, we'll go do this.
Yeah.
Like, but you know.
Yeah, Franklin's birth and that whole scene up in space was really dope. I really enjoyed all of that. That chase, her getting stuck in the black hole, and it was just fun, you know, problem solving ideas. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You know, because Silver Surfer, and she's good. I think they could have done more with her, but she has some really dope moments.
She was not part of the surfboard.
She
It was not part of her.
Yeah, that was a big point.
it was critical.
That Johnny wanted us to know.
Critical.
Yeah. But it was just, yeah, that whole middle sequence was really my favorite part. And I do agree with you. I do like the beginning. And if you're a fan of these characters and those stories, it is fun to just kind of get like a montage of things. But as an overarching story and movie, you kind of feel like the pacing kind of gets jacked up. I heard they cut a lot out of this film.
I would believe that. I would actually like to see the director's cut
Yeah.
of this because there's a lot of things that I saw clips or stills or costuming of that weren't in the film, and I'm like, so I know there was more left
They
on the
trimmed
cutting
this
room
down. I
floor.
know Disney and Marvel were like, this
Has to be a tight
do-
film, and it's got to be these things.
Yeah.
Like, one thing before they went into space that just tripped me out and had never crossed my mind was there's the Susan's like laying back and she's like, you want to see him so bad, here you go, and she like makes her stomach invisible.
Oh, that was so weird.
And I was like, that hadn't
So weird.
even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, that is
Yeah, that was
oh,
very
that was
weird.
wildin'. Like,
Well,
I was like not prepared, but was so like that was so cool to me.
Susan Storm, dude, she was a baddie. She was such a badass in this like whole like
Yeah, it
story.
was like moms are superheroes. It's the whole story.
Which is funny because the director of this is the director of WandaVision, which that
is also moms are superheroes.
yeah, like so like they found the perfect fit for that. What did you think of The Thing?
I liked him.
I
a
like the
lot.
look of him.
I liked that you got his backstory, like about him being Jewish and like being from like a low income area and things like that, without being told those things.
Yeah.
I like that he like visited his stomping ground and that everyone cheered for him there.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like that no one was like, oh my God, you're a monster. Because obviously this at this point he has been saving them for a year
Yeah.
or over a year. So everyone is very receptive of him. And like the kids are like, pick up the car. You know, they're so excited to
Yeah.
see him there. So I think that went well. You know, I had very few low notes. I feel like this took a lot of people's feedback. Like I can tell that people went, well, what about this? Or, well, don't forget about that. Or in this version of the story, this thing happens. Like, I don't know. It was well thought out in a way that I don't usually find Marvel movies well thought out. It wasn't as predictable. Like the teleportation doesn't work. Shit goes wrong.
That was such a dumb idea, though.
Oh yeah, well it's like
It's so dumb.
But to me, my thought kept being like, what happens with the tides? Like, are they teleporting
Yeah, what
the
happens
moon
with every-
too? Because like the tides also dictates like our weather, and like you're about to give us a whole new weather, but
There's gonna be too much if.
there were so many plot point holes in the we're
Yeah.
gonna teleport. So when she came through and wrecked them teleporters, I was like, okay,
Yes!
so they
Thank
also
God.
saw the plot hole.
Because that
in
would have
this.
sucked.
This would be a bad.
But like I had actually had the idea that they were gonna lose and that the planet was gonna get destroyed, and that's why they go to the MCU. Because at the end of Thunderbolts, their spaceship is coming into the MCU. So I don't know how we get there. I don't know if they made this movie and they're like, I know what you did with the Thunderbolts and that's cool and all. And I know you have that ship coming in at the end, but that's not going to be what happens here. Like at the end of this movie. So I think I kind of had this idea like, oh, they're going to lose. And that's when the teleporters did get destroyed. I'm like, yeah. Like, cause they spent, it was a whole worldwide effort. They're like, we're all going to build this
builders
stuff
from
and send us
everywhere have
materials
unified
just for her
and
to just swoop in on her surfboard and just pew, 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 pew.
gone.
I was like, yeah, wow, you guys are screwed.
Well, and then they're like, all right, we got to lure him to our only remaining teleporter. and I'm sitting here thinking, this motherfucker destroys worlds,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have him step in the trap.
Yeah,
Like,
come on now.
Come on.
Yeah, that was
And then
kinda
he
goofy
comes
too.
in and he's like, wait a minute,
Oh, I am on to you guys. Yeah.
you pesky bugs, like.
And then that's kind of the thing. I'm kind of glad we're done with Galactus for now because he just gets.
Oh, he's not gone.
Yeah,
he's just
not
teleported
dead.
to the far side of the universe.
But
Which isn't that what they did
I
with
kind of want to
Thanos,
see the
too?
Fantastic Four like fight some, I don't know, just like other people. You know, not this giant Galactus, which I feel like it's just so hard to like. What do you really do?
Well, I
So-
think that's where Doom's coming in. Like,
right. But
you
I
know.
think that's why, like in the other versions of doing Fantastic Four, even going back to the 20th Century Fox ones, they go, we're going to start with Doom. And Rise of the Silver Surfer, even though they totally botched Galactus, that is the story. And I feel like that is a logical step of like introducing like a bigger and bigger problem for Fantastic Four. But I think with this, they're like, after this, you're going into Secret Wars and Doomsday. So, you know, it's only going to get bigger from here.
Which is true. I mean,
yeah.
I could see that be the the thinking in these things. I think they sat down and looked at the old ones and went, what did they do right and what did they do wrong? And I think they really did well with that data.
I totally agree. You know, I think this is the best Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, hands down.
You know,
not even a question on that.
I'm still not sold on some things just yet, but that's like saying you watch Captain America and you're not sold on him yet, and we'll wait till you get to Civil War, Winter Soldier, and
Well, yeah, and
all these
people are
other
going to
movies.
feel that way about Susan being so strong. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be... Well, I
Well,
mean,
and
to
then
be
you got-
fair, she died.
I was about to say...
It does kill her to do that.
She sacrificed herself.
And they're like, oh, how convenient. The kid... I don't think it's convenient. Anyone that's read him in other stuff knows that he's like...
It's got the power cosmic, bro.
Yeah, like...
I mean...
Can rewrite and unwrite life.
Yeah, I mean, it basically feels like Franklin Richards is now the MacGuffin in the MCU now, and you know, and that's
If
where
he's
you're
a
gonna-
baby, so it's
Yeah.
a good MacGuffin to have.
But I think that's how you rewrite and you mess with all the multiverse stuff. I mean, Secret Wars is essentially like, it depends on which one they're doing, but it looks like, from what I've seen, the latest version of Secret Wars is like, you got this like fantasy version where all these worlds have like collided, and the Earth is like a mixture of all the different multiverse like Earths, and like,
Which
yeah.
that goes with like the Peacemaker stuff too, right?
Well, that's DC.
Well, no, but I mean, like, that's kind of the push all of them are going into.
Yeah, like we need to like we need to get rid of this multiverse.
Because I mean,
shit.
this and Superman had, they both started in the middle.
Yeah.
They both had black holes that were like a relatively important plot point.
Weird. Yeah.
They both had the superheroes essentially like losing because like Superman gets wrecked.
Yeah, he does.
Susan gets wrecked. Like, they all get wrecked in some variant, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's definitely parallels, but I think that this, like, interdimensional mishmash, like the Across the Spider-Verse,
Well, yeah, and
is going to be the standard. Like, that's the new...
Well, and I think they're like sci-fi
Evolution.
influenced a little bit, and
Which, I mean, how could they not be? They're superheroes.
I know.
Who are made by super serums or technology most of the
Or
time.
cosmic rays, right? Yeah, and that's the thing, when you look at
Gamma
Superman,
rays, cosmic rays, all the rays.
yeah, they're all the rays. But when you look at like Superman was a movie that I totally felt like I liked more. I don't know, it just resonated with me more, even though I understand the family.
Well, there's
love
two different
and
messages.
concepts.
Like,
Two
one
different.
is very uplifting and positive, and
be
one is
kind,
like
yeah.
accepting the uphill struggle.
Yeah, and love your family, and like,
Yeah,
yeah. And sometimes your family is not your blood,
No, I did find her speech to be cheesy.
Her speech was cheesy, but like,
And ain't no way I'd be
damn,
taking my infant out into an angry mob. I
she
would
totally did. Well,
scorch earth.
Bro, she could have like force fielded.
Oh, she
them,
could have flattened
pushed-
them. Yeah,
she
like,
could have handled all.
but
them.
still, then you're asking for press to record you flattening a bunch.
Sure,
It's just not it's not a good PR move. Like,
Yeah, it was. But look, dude. At the end of the day, I think this was a great entry into the MCU, and I think it is a good movie that doesn't need you to actually watch any of the other Marvel movies, which I think for a lot of people, especially since Disney Plus, and I've heard that they're trying to kind of create some separation where you don't feel like you have to do your homework all the time every time you watch a Marvel thing.
you have to pull up a wiki to watch it.
Okay, what do I got to watch before?
In what order should I watch the entire
Yeah.
MCU? No.
I think they're trying to get away from that. I think that they've seen where that has burned out a lot of people, including me. Like, I don't watch all the Disney Plus stuff. I follow up on what's happening and keep notes of those, but I don't invest the hours and hours of money to go in to see every Marvel movie now and to go into...
Marvel movies make me feel like the Charlie Day meme.
Why?
Like, I feel like I'm like, which variant of this thing is this thing, and like,
Yeah.
whose version was this, and then what happened with that,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wait, but what about this person, and is this person now? Like, there's just
Yeah, it
now
gets a little too much.
it gets overwhelming, and then it's like visually overwhelming, so I just like stay out of it.
Well, and I know a lot of people, like, they were saying that Superman was really stuffed and had a lot because they're trying to just start over.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I was cool with it. I mean...
It's not unfamiliar material.
Right. And I think when you compare this to Superman, Fantastic Four feels more focused, but like that's because it is and it's about to explode. Where Superman is like literally kind of laying down the foundation for everything, where, you know, this movie doesn't. And you don't have to compare these movies, really. I think we just are, because like you said, there is a lot of, you know, things that are similar, but they're also two superhero movies
They
coming
came
out
out
the same
back to
month.
back,
You know,
like-
like it's
It was, I mean, but that's almost clever, because on one level, it's the people that just saw Superman and are itching for that like superhero fix
Yeah.
are gonna come see this, but you know that you're never gonna like cap Superman.
well, and they are different. Like you said, there are different vibes and themes, and some people are going to go into Fantastic Four, and that message and themes are going to resonate more, and some people are going to walk out of Superman and feel like that was something more relatable. But that's where, you know, when you talk about books, movies, music, whatever, dude, it's really up to you. Like, you know, I think that me and you both generally agree that, you know, both of these movies were great. This one was pretty
Yeah.
good. And, you know, looking forward to what they do next. But
As a person that doesn't like superhero movies,
Exactly.
would recommend both of these superhero movies.
right, which is nice, man. I mean, I don't like, you know, these movies get announced years and years and years ago. Like, I think in 2020 they were like, we're doing this, and then COVID hit, the writer's strike hit, so things have been so delayed. So we're watching a lot of things that have been in production and development hell because of just real world stuff, and now we're finally seeing the end result. And I think
But
that's
the
where
end result has been worth the wait.
it has, and they've had a lot of time to take their time. Marvel has slowed down, and I
Marvel
think that
needed
has
to.
benefited.
They were the Call of Duty of movies. Like,
Dude, worse.
we'll die on the hill.
Yeah.
They just were pumping them out, and there was no point in watching them because they were just reskins of other movies.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. So before we do, would you recommend Fantastic Four?
Absolutely. I actually even think this would be like relatively family friendly. There's some like moments, but like not enough to be concerned about it.
Yo, on that point, you know, in the movie, right before it started, they're showing trailers, and we saw the trailer for Weapons. Dude, I went on Reddit the other day, and it was saying like, yo, just giving you guys a heads up, if you're bringing your kids to Fantastic Four,
That this trailer plays.
there's a couple trailers that play that are a little not so kid friendly. I think like they're showing the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer.
But that's technically marketed to like young
for sure.
teens.
But it's a scary movie. And then that Weapons is a whole
that
nother
Weapons
level.
thing was like
That looks crazy.
That's
But I was so happy that I wasn't the only one that sat in the theater and was like, man, there's a couple of kids in here. Like, they're probably like,
this is
what
a
the
family movie
Right.
to an extent.
I totally recommend Fantastic Four First Steps. I mean, I think this is the best Fantastic Four movie that they've ever done. I don't think it's perfect. I think that there's still things that they can learn from this experience and you know, develop, especially when it comes to Reed Richards. I don't know. Like, I feel like
I
he's
just
too
think
important.
he didn't need to be the star of this.
not
Maybe
that
he's
he
the
doesn't-
star of later on ones.
Oh, we're gonna get in a whole thing.
It didn't. Yeah, no,
yeah.
we're gonna agree to disagree on this one because I appreciated that Reed Richards was not the end all be all of
There's
the
a council of Reeds.
There
Bailey.
is a Fantastic
He's-
Four. That
I
means
get
there's
it.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I get
not
it.
one.
But he
it's not
was
a
so
Fantastic
timid.
One and his homies.
was
Okay,
so
like that's
quiet.
not what this is.
I get it. Well,
You got me all heated.
you guys
on
let
that.
us know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you enjoyed Fantastic Four First Steps. So with both of those, let us know what you guys thought of this episode and what you thought about the movie. Did you agree or disagree with anything that I or Bailey had said?
I'd be really interested to see the
Definitely.
DC versus Marvel people that listen.
That's true. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can leave comments. So, you know, let us know what you thought of this latest MCU entry. And if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, you can also drop some comments there. So always love to hear feedback. Sorry this episode came out a little late, but we wanted to talk about this and we had to go see the movie first. So it was all kind of happening that way.
layers.
Yeah, there was layers. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Until the next episode, though, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Wonder Soul. Wonder Soul.
Wonder Soul.